King Ghidorah, the one who has many, the devil with 3 heads. The monster versus Ghidorah is widely considered to be the strongest kaiju within the verse, besides Godzilla of course. While I personally disagree, there is no denying he's a force to be reckoned with. From being able to create a huge hurricane from just existing, to being able to lift the king of the monsters into the sky like a ragdoll. He is truly the Golden King, and the bringer of darkness. Well, while Ghidorah may block the land of light, he should be more worried when he's locked in with himself. What if Ghidorah wasn't facing off against the slower titans of the monsterverse? What if Ghidorah had to climb the ranks and prove his title of Dragon? Hello Monarch employees and citizens of Berk. In today's video, as preparation for the How to Train Your Dragon film just around the corner, I thought, why not take one of the most iconic dragons in fiction and see how he holds up against the dragon realm itself? Hello everyone, I'm your host Koji Guy, and today we ask the question, can King Ghidorah survive How to Train Your Dragon? Howdy everybody, I hope you're all doing well. And to those who are watching this live while the video premieres, let me know how your day is going in the chat. Anyways, in today's video, we're taking Godzilla's evil dragon, King Ghidorah, and seeing if he can clear the dragons from How to Train Your Dragon. Now, for this video to be entertaining, we do need to take a few liberties to ensure it's fair. As, if you want the answer outright, yes, Monster vs. Ghidorah wipes the floor with these dragons. The difference in weight, strength, and power alone is enough to wipe the floor with everyone that stands in his way. So, with that mentioned, if you're going to complain that I said Ghidorah is going to be able to get damage going forward, move on, click off the video, as I have already given you your answer at face value. But to everyone that actually wants a cool video, trust me, you're in for a treat. So the first thing we need to do is reduce Ghidorah's weight. While the Bewilderbeasts in their verse weigh in at an insane 200,000 pounds or 100 tons, at least according to the wiki, Monster vs. Ghidorah weighs just a bit more, weighing in at an eye-watering 141,056 tons. You know, only 1,400 times heavier than the Bewilderbeasts. So, no duh, we need to reduce his weight. Ghidorah, given his size, would likely weigh around 300,000 pounds, so heavy enough to stand his ground, but light enough where the other dragons don't just die from a single tail swipe. Along with all this, we'll be assuming all the dragons are at their peak, and none of them are holding back. And well, that's really about it. It's really just the weight that was a huge issue. So who will be on Ghidorah's bracket? Well, for this, we need to pick the best of the best dragons. The strongest, the fastest, the deadliest. His bracket is the Screaming Death, the Red Death, the Forever Wing, the Purple Death, the Bewilderbeast, and finally, Toothless, the Night Fury. So, without further ado, let's cover Ghidorah's feats. Ah, Ghidorah, my glorious Golden King. Where do I even begin? Hi. Hey guys. Anyways, King Ghidorah is one of the strongest beasts the Monsterverse has ever shown off, only behind the likes of Godzilla and Shimo. But, what has he done to earn this level of power? Well, let's start with his strength. Just from clashing into Godzilla, he's able to create a shockwave, so no dragons will want to clash with him head-on unless they have the weight to back it up. He's able to easily break his wings free from ice, and manhandles Rodan when weakened and holding back. He's once again able to make a shockwave and stalemate Godzilla after Godzilla was amped heavily. But his most impressive thing is that he was able to lift Godzilla high into the sky. With Ghidorah's new weight, and Godzilla's weight in comparison, this means Ghidorah would pretty much be able to lift any of the dragons that he will face off against. The only exception maybe being the Forever Wing. For durability, he's immune to gunfire, and while annoyed, also found with missiles being shot at him. He's able to withstand an amped Godzilla's beam to the chest like it's nothing. He withstands the Oxygen Destroyer. Granted, he is an alien, so he doesn't really need oxygen. So it's a good feat, yeah, but it's not crazy given Ghidorah's context. He's able to go blow for blow with Godzilla later in the film, and withstand Rodan slamming into him full force. For speed, he's able to reach speeds of 550 knots, or roughly 630 miles an hour. For abilities, he has his gravity beams, his wing lightning, his storm, and energy absorption. Though the wing lightning and energy absorption would be iffy if usable at all, given 1, there are no power plants to chomp on, and 2, the dragons don't run on radiation, so there's really nothing to absorb. So overall, he will be one alpha of a dragon. So, first up on the list, the Screaming Death. The Screaming Death, first appearing in Dragons Defenders of Berk, is considered to be one of the deadliest dragons in the How to Train Your Dragon universe. From not having any real weaknesses, to being able to consume entire islands. It's no shock why these guys are feared by even the Night Fury itself. But to truly be able to understand how a battle between these two would go, let's first cover his stats. Firstly, this dude was able to sink multiple islands. In one of the last episodes, he's even able to destroy a large portion of the Dragon Island, leaving almost nothing in his wake. Now, assuming these islands are size accurate, we have a map that roughly looks like this. Shout out to Korra. That is the only time you'll ever hear that sentence ever come out of my mouth. If you want the more funky, spunky power scaling terms, he would be outputting large island levels of power. But as most of you know, we're not a power scaling channel. So for how we do it, this shows that over an unquantifiable amount of time, that the Screaming Death is seemingly able to hollow out entire islands, leaving them to destabilize and sink into the ocean floor. That makes no sense. They're on the floor, are they not? Anyways, Well, as I said, we don't know how quickly he does this. It should be relatively fast, meaning if you were to rush at Ghidorah's wings, for example, he could likely rip right through them, making it hard for the one who is meant to take flight. Along with that, these guys, as I said, are stated to have no weaknesses. So Ghidorah's beam would ragdoll him, yes, but they wouldn't injure him any further than the blunt and heat damage it would inflict. And on that note, durability. According to the wiki, the Screaming Death has the thickest and most durable scales in the verse, being able to take shots from Toothless, Meatlug, Barf and Belch, and Stormfly. He can take all sorts of hits, from plasma to poison. He just shrugs it off. He's able to fly through and destroy giant rock formations like it's nothing. He's able to keep up with the speeding Toothless, giving him incredible speed. And of course, his body itself gives him incredible agility. So, how would this fight play out? In this fight, the Screaming Death would likely be the aggressor. Ghidorah's sword would wake him from beneath whatever island he's trying to hollow out. The Screaming Death, for just a few moments, would stay quiet and study this massive foe. But without hesitation, he would attack. Ghidorah is by far stronger, and has a much wider range of abilities. Along with that, he is far more durable. But the Screaming Death also takes quite a few categories. He is faster, more agile, and has the Ion Dragon mentality, where he will fight with all he's got until he's dead. Ghidorah would struggle to hit the Screaming Death, due to his speed, agility, and small size. But all Screaming Death can really do is just tear through his wings bit by bit. Now, while Ghidorah's regen isn't as fast as it is when it's being juiced up, such as when he took in the radiation of the volcano, or took in the electricity from the power plant, it is still quick enough in base to heal from any small holes the Screaming Death inflicts. And after enough time, Ghidorah could just shoot one beam at the Screaming Death. Now, while one beam likely wouldn't put him out, once the second one does make contact, yeah, Ghidorah moves on with low difficulty. Next up is the Red Death, the main antagonist of the first film, and one of my personal favorite dragons. But does he have what it takes to hold his own against a devil with 3 heads? When it comes to strength, the Red Death shows that he can easily break through a mountain just from standing up. He's able to bite right through catapults, and completely rams through giant rock pillars without slowing down. For durability, he again breaks through the mountain, and goes through those pillars as we said. He's unbothered by catapult fire, and takes a blast to the back of the neck unharmed. He takes many blasts to the mouth from Toothless, and again shows no damage. As we said, he's able to withstand bashing through rock when flying, and is relatively unharmed from Toothless plasma blasts to the wings. While they did cause holes, they really only widened due to him falling later. For his speed, thanks to his sheer size, he is able to keep up with a speeding Toothless. And for his abilities, his fire breath is able to destroy fleets of ships with ease. He's also able to suck in a whole bunch of air at once, even most dragons can't escape. Getting onto his statements, there's a statement that says, due to his sheer size, when flying, the Red Death can break through anything in his way, even entire mountains. Along with that, they also have a really good sense of smell and hearing. It is also said a few times, the Red Death is able to send out homing signals to call other dragons to his nest. He also has no blind spots, which would help greatly in this battle. So, without a play, let's cover this fight. Ghidorah, after leaving the sinking island from the Screaming Death, lifts off and once more gets into the sky. Though after some time passes, something odd starts happening. Ichi and San begin to thrash around, their heads splitting in pain, while Nee picks up on a call, though he is more resistant to it. They're hearing this world's version of the Alpha Call. It's similar, but not like the one they know. They make a sharp turn and head over to this new island. They land, sniffing the air, but they were sniffed out first. Suddenly, out of the mountain, the Red Death plows out, ramming into Ghidorah, breaking a few ribs. In this fight, Ghidorah still takes strength at least when it comes to lifting, but the Red Death, due to a smaller, more compact size, can hit harder. The Red Death also takes speed, while Ghidorah holds on to durability, IQ, and abilities. This fight would go on for some time, the Red Death constantly keeping an eye on Ghidorah, and blasting with fire, though said fire really wouldn't do much, if anything at all. The Red Death's only option of trying to kill him would be with blunt force, which really isn't possible. So, after some time, Ghidorah would just overpower the Red Death with his necks, or charge up his beams, and hit the Red Death right between the eyes, killing him. Overall, Ghidorah moves on with low to mid difficulty. Next up is the Forever Wing. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, Ghidorah wins. While I love the Forever Wing, we really don't know much about it other than its abilities, which aren't anything crazy. All we have is an estimated size, and we sort of know it should be an alpha. Other than that though, we don't even know if it can fly.
They fly now! They fly now? They fly now!
Meaning Ghidorah can just stay in the air and shoot at it the entire time. So Ghidorah moves on with pretty much no difficulty. Next up is the Purple Death. This is a huge jump from the Forever Wing. So let's cover what he's got. First, for strength, just from waking up, he caused sea quakes. Not only that, but they were strong enough to seemingly shake Berg. But personally, I can't really find too much info on this. Did he cause it forcefully? Or is it just a byproduct of him waking up? And the magnitude itself is widely debated. I've heard anywhere from magnitude 7 to magnitude 10. So it's iffy. But here is where he really shines. A glorious category. A factor that make or breaks fights. Context. Now, for those watching who haven't read the comic, how do you think they beat the Purple Death? Blow him up? Burn him to a crisp? I'll give you a sec. Go ahead. Yep. Alright, you got it? Well, wrong. They didn't. They more or less had to Marvel Godzilla him, and had to hypnotize him, and send him off back to sleep for a few hundred years. Now, here's where context matters. Firstly, this is post-Red Death, so the Purple Death was so much stronger than the Red Death that their only way of beating it was putting it to sleep. Secondly, they had the home field advantage, as the Purple Death attacked Berk as a whole. All the dragons, all the weapons, all the Vikings, and still, they couldn't do anything to him. So the only way they were able to win was using magic, if you will. So we can say the Purple Death is far stronger than Red. So with that being said, how would he hold up? Ghidorah flies over the ocean, the Red Death's body still visible from afar. But as he flies, suddenly a huge wave crashes into him, knocking him into the water. The Purple Death attacks. This battle is the most interesting by far. Firstly, where it takes place. As you see, the Purple Death fights in the water. And as we also see in King of the Monsters, Ghidorah sucks when fighting in the water, almost dying in his battle with Godzilla. Assuming the Purple Death can output earthquake-level blows, he would be able to heavily damage Ghidorah, breaking bones, causing internal bleeding, and maybe even tear off a limb. And this time, there's no Oxygen Destroyer to help. Luckily, while yes, he's light, given his strength feats from his world, he would be able to quickly overpower the Purple Death, using his heads to lift him out of the water and taking them into the sky. Now, this could go one of two ways. One, and the most unlikely, the Purple Death is able to knock out Ghidorah and eventually kill him underwater. Or two, the more likely outcome, he will land some devastating blows, yes, but Ghidorah will kick into overdrive, using all he's got to get out of the water, and then once in the air, he would blast the Purple Death full force, damaging him severely, and then lastly, fly over the nearest landmass and Goji drop him from the sky. Overall, Ghidorah would struggle greatly in this battle, as he would be hit harder than ever before, and would be forced into the terrain he struggles most in. So overall, with mid to high difficulty, Ghidorah moves on. And now onto the two alphas themselves, the Bewilderbeasts. And yes, I said beasts. Ghidorah will be going against both these cataclysmic dragons at once. So let's see these two stats. Starting with Valka's Bewilderbeast. Valka, I think that's how you say it. Velka? I'm not sure. Hiccup's mom. This Bewilder off screen, using its ice breath, is able to completely destroy a small village. Along with that, I don't know the gender of Valka's Bewilderbeast. We'll just say it's a she.
No dick.
Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. She's able to destroy a large amount of the battlefield with ice. She's able to swim really well, and she's able to rip through her ice with ease, similar to what the Red Death did with the mountain. For Drago's, his is able to displace ships just from standing up. He crushes weapons with no issue. He's able to outspeed and overpower Valka's Bewilderbeast, and ends up killing her. He's able to destroy large stone structures just from stepping on them, and he's able to head slam Valka's Bewilderbeast, both Bewilders coming in at 200,000 pounds. And with his ice, he is able to destroy a large portion of Berk, making ice towers the size of mountains in seconds. And for their actual battle, they both have some matching feats. They're able to clash into each other with their tusks. Again, they weigh 200,000 pounds. They're able to clash repeatedly and push each other around. So, how would this fight play out? Ghidorah flies. Alright, I really don't know how to have this battle start. Let's just get to the breakdown. This fight is very interesting. The Bewilderbeasts together would be able to shove Ghidorah around quite a bit. Along with their ice, they could consistently freeze his necks together or freeze his feet to the ground. But while they could slow him down, given Ghidorah is able to break out of Antarctic ice with ease, he would likely be able to break out of this ice too. Though he would have to be quick, as the Bewilderbeasts make ice fast. So as long as Ghidorah is able to stay on his toes, he should be fine with the ice. This really comes down to Ghidorah avoiding the tusks being stabbed into him. But luckily for him, he can fly. They can't. Ghidorah could just stay in the air and fly far away, land, and then blast them. While it would take many shots to take them down, over time, I do see Ghidorah pulling through with mid to high difficulty. Oh boy. Now, the Night Fury, Toothless. I don't really think I need to cover much of Toothless, but we'll keep it quick. Strength. Toothless is able to carry multiple people on his back with ease. He overpowers and throws Hook Fang, who weighs in at roughly 5,000 pounds. And, that's it. Speed. This one is easy to answer. Toothless is the fastest in his verse, being able to fly at supersonic speeds, or roughly 768 miles an hour. Durability. He's able to slam through rock towers with no damage. He takes hits from Hook Fang, again with no damage. He falls from the sky, slamming through ice and into the water unharmed, and is able to get entirely frozen with no damage. IQ. Toothless is able to understand humans to a certain extent, and then even ends up mimicking Hiccup's movements and facial expressions. He's able to understand Hiccup's drawing, and then on the spot draws Hiccup as well. Over time, he learns to trust Hiccup. He also shows that he hates eels, showing he's able to remember minor things he dislikes. He's able to overpower the Alpha Call and free himself, and he's able to sense the Light Fury right near himself. Onto other stuff, Toothless can fly for hours on end. He can manage in a 3v1 while in pursuit. He has no issue with challenging alphas. He has agility like no other, being able to maneuver through the Bewilderbeast's tail with ease. He dodges ice beams, and in a single swift movement, in less than a second, Toothless is able to get up, spin around, and pin Hiccup to the ground. And finally, abilities. Toothless of course has his plasma balls, which destroy stuff ranging from wooden towers all the way up to the Bewilderbeast's tusks. This incredible power, paired with the fact that at least according to the Berk Dragon logs, he never misses. He has a great sense of smell, being able to smell Hiccup's knife in his coat pocket from many feet away. He also has great hearing, picking up on Hiccup's cry for help from at least a mile away. He's able to override the Bewilder Beast's alpha call and learns the ability of gathering electricity around him, allowing him to go invisible. So, blah blah blah, how does this fight play out? This is a very interesting battle. As Ghidorah nears Berk, the sky is darkened, and clouds blow out huge bolts of lightning. Toothless snarls, sensing something isn't right. He takes to the sky, and as the lightning flashes, his eyes widen, being met with the sight of an ungodly-sized dragon. Luckily, thanks to the storm around him and its supply of electricity, Toothless can go invisible practically indefinitely throughout this fight. Ghidorah flies towards Berk, ready to let out an alpha call, but then is blasted in the eye with a plasma ball. Toothless versus Ghidorah has begun. Now, this fight is hard to say. Ghidorah's steals strength and durability, but Toothless is fast, far more agile, and at least in this battle, has more effective abilities. Now, the reason this fight is hard to determine the winner of is that 1. Toothless is far too fast for Ghidorah, but 2. Ghidorah is far too strong and durable for Toothless's attacks to do much. So overall, I don't think there's a winner. Realistically, Toothless would just fly laps around Ghidorah, constantly invisible. While Ghidorah can shrug off most of his attacks, what I think would happen, given Ghidorah's short temper and Toothless's stamina, is that Ghidorah would just leave. He's not giving up per se, no. He just couldn't really care less for this one specific island. So, neither win. But I do believe Toothless could deter him. So, for this round, there is no winner. But despite I know future me will hate editing this, let's do one last battle. We want to see Ghidorah lose at least once, right, Dragon fans? Sorry, Godzilla fans, it's just, well, you know. They need to get a piece of cake too. So, as one final battle, to make sure I'm not clickbaiting, we will have all the previously mentioned dragons fight Ghidorah all at once. Can Ghidorah beat all the previous dragons all at once? Well, let's find out. But before we do, we are almost done with this video. So if you watched this far and you have enjoyed, make sure to subscribe. We're trying to hit 300k before G-Fest, which if you don't know what that is, just watch these 2 shorts right here after this video. So just clicking that one button right there helps a lot. Anyways, let's cover this final world-ending battle. In this battle, we will revive all the fallen dragons, and they will listen to Toothless for orders. So how would a fight like this go? Well, here's how I see it playing out. Toothless will draw Ghidorah to a shoreline, and once there, the battle truly begins. Toothless, along with the Screaming Death and Red Death, will attack from the sky, using fire, sound, and plasma to cause significant damage to Ghidorah, faster than he can regenerate at a natural rate. Here and there, the Red Death will dive bomb Ghidorah into the water, leaving him to the mercy of the Purple Death. Once underneath, the Purple Death will inflict as much damage as possible, possibly concussing Ghidorah, though Ghidorah will quickly kick the Purple Death away from him and swim and crawl onto the shoreline. Just then have his heads be covered in lava and acid by the Forever Wing. Ghidorah would blast it off himself, shooting lightning at all of his attackers. While damaged, they can still fight. The goal here is to wear him down. For many minutes on end, Ghidorah is torched, ripped, and deafened. He becomes disoriented, and due to the damage done to his wings, it's almost impossible for him to take flight. And once that happens, the Red Death, Purple Death, and Forever Wing all use their sheer mass to hold Ghidorah down, while the Screaming Death wraps his body around Ghidorah's mouth so he can't shoot a beam. And with this, Ghidorah is restrained. The 2 Bewilder Beasts then fire all the ice they can, the other dragons letting go at the last moment. The Bewilder Beasts have to shoot everything they've got. I'm talking collapsing from exhaustion amounts. But after enough time, they have fully buried Ghidorah in millions of tons of ice, covering the entire island. So, as a team, can they kill him? Likely not, but they can defeat him. I do think the dragons, together, can beat Ghidorah, but one-on-one, he beats all of them. So, there's your answer. I want to remind you all, this is an equal stats Ghidorah for this video. Real MonsterVerse Ghidorah would wipe the floor with the entire verse. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned for more How to Train Your Dragon content to come. You'll get to see Toothless enter the Hollow Earth, you'll see the Red Death on Skull Island, and even see Rathlos from Monster Hunter take on the How to Train Your Dragon soon after. Again, make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video, but as always, keep collecting. Goji Guy, out. See ya.
What is munching? Hungry, hungry gecko. No. 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 Munchin. Was it good?